Did you know that the loudest sound ever heard in recorded history came from a volcanic eruption? It was so loud it circled the planet 4 times and ruptured the eardrums of sailors 40 miles away. Today, we're diving into the story of Krakatoa, the island volcano that literally blew itself off the map and changed the world forever. The year is 1883. Krakatoa, a seemingly quiet volcanic island in the Sunda Strait, between Java and Sumatra in what is now Indonesia, had been dormant for 2 centuries. But in May of that year, it began to stir. For months, local ships reported rumbles, ash clouds, and small eruptions. To the people living on the nearby shores, it was a spectacle, a bit of natural theater. No one could have predicted the cataclysm that was brewing beneath the waves. The buildup was deceptively gradual. Think of it like a pressure cooker with a faulty valve. Steam and ash vented into the sky, sometimes reaching heights of 6 miles. The sound was a constant, deep groan that rattled windows across the region. Captains of passing ships documented the sky turning dark in the middle of the day, with pumice and ash raining down on their decks. It was unnerving, for sure, but life largely went on. The local Dutch authorities saw it as a geological curiosity, not an imminent threat. They had no framework, no precedent for what was about to happen. Then came August 26th. The prelude was over. The main event began. A series of massive explosions started, each one more powerful than the last. The initial blasts sent a column of ash, gas, and rock an astonishing 15 miles into the atmosphere. The sky for hundreds of miles around was plunged into total darkness. It was described by witnesses as day turned to midnight. But this was just the opening act. The climax arrived on the morning of August 27th at 10:02 a.m. local time. For colossal explosions, the likes of which modern humanity has never witnessed, ripped the island apart. The third and most powerful blast is what generated the sound heard thousands of miles away, from Australia to an island near Mauritius. This explosion was estimated to be 13,000 times more powerful than the atomic bomb that devastated Hiroshima. It unleashed an energy equivalent to 200 megatons of TNT. In an instant, 2/3 of the island of Krakatoa simply ceased to exist, collapsing into the now empty magma chamber below. The immediate devastation was almost unimaginable. The collapse of the volcano into the sea triggered a series of colossal tsunamis, waves, some reaching over 120 feet high that's taller than a 10-story building, raced across the Sunda Strait at hundreds of miles per hour. They didn't just flood coastal towns, they obliterated them. Entire villages were wiped from the face of the earth. The wave was so powerful it carried a steamship. The beat flew nearly 2 miles inland and left it in the middle of a jungle, a ghostly monument to the wave's incredible force. Over 36,000 people lost their lives, the vast majority swallowed by the tsunamis. But the horror wasn't over for the survivors. The immense amount of ash and sulfur dioxide blasted into the stratosphere had a profound global impact. This fine volcanic dust acted like a giant sunshade, wrapping the entire planet in a thin veil. Global temperatures dropped by an average of 1.2 degrees Celsius for the next 5 years, leading to what was known as a volcanic winter. Weather patterns were thrown into chaos. North America and Europe experienced record rainfall, failed harvests, and unusually cold summers. The summer of 1884 was famously chilly. The most visible effect, however, was in the sky. For 3 years following the eruption, the world witnessed sunsets of an unearthly, spectacular beauty. The volcanic particles scattered sunlight in a way that painted the sky in brilliant, fiery reds and vivid violets. People across the globe were mesmerized. The famous painting The Scream by Edvard Munch, with its blood-red sky, is thought by many art historians to have been inspired by these Krakatoa sunsets, which Munch would have witnessed in Norway. The sky itself seemed to be screaming. So, how did this disaster change the world forever? It wasn't just about the tragic loss of life or the temporary climate change. Krakatoa was arguably the first truly global news event. The eruption happened at a unique moment in history, the dawn of modern global communication. The brand new transatlantic telegraph cable network had just been completed. News of the explosions and the tsunamis, which would have previously taken weeks or months to spread by ship, was transmitted around the world within hours. For the first time, people in London, New York, and Paris could read about a catastrophe on the other side of the planet almost as it happened. It connected humanity in a shared experience of awe and horror. Scientifically, Krakatoa was a wake-up call. It forced the scientific community to take volcanoes seriously as global impact events. The Royal Society of London compiled a comprehensive report on the eruption, a groundbreaking study that analyzed everything from the spread of the atmospheric shockwave to the global atmospheric effects. This report laid the foundation for modern volcanology. Scientists began to understand the link between major eruptions and climate, and the concept of the jet stream was even theorized by studying the spread of Krakatoa's ash cloud. The disaster also spurred the creation of the first international warning systems. The sheer scale of the tsunamis made it clear that a local disaster could have far-reaching consequences, and that communication was key to saving lives. While our modern tsunami warning systems are far more advanced, the fundamental idea was born from the tragedy of Krakatoa. And what about the island itself? Nature's power of recovery is just as awe-inspiring as its power of destruction. Within a few decades, life began to return to the barren, sterilized remnants of the old volcano. By the 1920s, a new cone started to emerge from the caldera left by the 1883 eruption. It was named Anak Krakatoa, which means child of Krakatoa. This new volcano is still active today, constantly growing, a living reminder of its violent parent. It's a cycle of destruction and creation, playing out on a geological timescale. The story of Krakatoa is more than just a historical account of a big explosion. It's a story about the fragility of civilization, the interconnectedness of our planet's systems, and humanity's enduring quest to understand the powerful forces that shape our world. It showed us that an event in one remote corner of the globe could paint the skies, chill the air, and capture the imagination of the entire world. It was a terrifying, beautiful, and world-altering lesson from the heart of the Earth. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey back in time. If you found this story as fascinating as I do, please hit that like button and consider subscribing for more deep dives into the events that shaped our history. Let me know in the comments what other historical disasters you'd like to see covered. Until next time, stay curious.